The box office breakdown was submitted to a visualization contest at informationisbeautiful.net in February of 2012. We were provided with data on movies released between 2007 and 2011. For each film, we were given data like budget and gross, its genre, and how it was received by audiences and critics. The box office breakdown allows you to compare sets of movies and even lets you drill down into individual movies. When the site loads, you're initially presented with a comparison of independent movies versus movies backed by a production studio. The top section breaks down the average budget and gross by year. This lighter area is the profit the movie realized. There's also a breakdown of genres in each set of movies. Finally, we have a comparison between critic and audience ratings as collected by Rotten Tomatoes. You can see that 2009 was the best year for the average movie in both categories. When we switch over to totals, you can see two things immediately. First, that 2009 was not the best year in total for either group, so we know that 2009 must have had fewer movies, each bringing in more on average. It's also clear to see that in total, studios profited much more than independent movies. Both sets of movies have the same top three genres: action, comedy, and drama. However, you can see that studios tend towards action movies, and comedies are more popular with independents. Finally, we can compare critic and audience sentiment. On average, studio-produced movies are received just a little bit better by both critics and audiences. We can also compare individual studios. The box office breakdown loads in a web page and is controlled by interacting with these native web elements. We'll pull up Lionsgate. As you can see, they're bringing in less than average gross and profitability. Same goes for critic and audience response. It looks like they had a hit year in 2009. To find out what movies they released, we can scroll down to view each movie in the set. We can see that in 2009, the only movie Lionsgate released was My Bloody Valentine 3D, which brought in $100 million for only a $14 million budget. In contrast to Lionsgate, we'll look at Disney. They consistently beat the average in both gross and ratings. We can also compare genres against each other. We'll click over to the By Genre tabs. Let's say we want to compare comedy movies with dramas. There's not any immediately apparent pattern in grosses, but as you can see, viewers slightly prefer dramas over comedies. The most popular movie genre is action. Action movies bring in the most money, but are actually less popular with critics and audiences. Finally, we can compare individual movies against each other. The most profitable movie in our 5-year dataset is Paranormal Activity. Its budget doesn't even appear on the graph. The movie made $171 million and was made for only $15,000. We can compare this to its sequel, Paranormal Activity 2. The sequel did get studio backing, and it was made for a budget of $3 million. The studio did see a little more money than the original, but not by much. The box office breakdown is live, and you can play with it if you like. It's linked in our portfolio at fourfirstnames.com, and there's a link in the video comments. We'd love to hear what interesting comparisons you can find.